Okay, so since I just updated, or well, last updated, which was Monday, um, change of plans because that day that I made the video, I was accepted into Manchester Metropolitan University, which is the university that I really wanted to go to, in England, in Manchester. I originally was going to go to London to do creative writing in English, and I found out, well, there were delays in transcripts, and so I never got in because of it. So they put me into clearing, which was basically means if there's any courses left somewhere, you look for them. But then I'm like, okay, well, I didn't take the equivalent of A levels in high school, so I have to see if I can even get in. And then, so I was talking to my friend Nikki, who lives in Manchester, and she was like, well, check around. And I'm like, oh, I found this university in Manchester. And she's like, oh, yeah, that's like a sister university to my university. And I found out I could get in, so I applied, rushed transcripts to them, and then on Monday they asked me to to accept my offer on clearing. So then I had to go through and say, yes, I want to go here. Well, I went to go at it, and wait, yeah, I went to go at it, and they were like, well, clearing is down until 9 a.m. UK time, because it was Scotland was getting their results that day. So I was like, I am not gonna miss this. I have like 50 days till term starts. I am not missing this. I am doing this. So I stayed up till 4 a.m. Went to go log on, and then I found out I couldn't log on until 2:30 p.m. UK time. So that's 9:30 my time. So I was like, I'm just gonna stay up. So I made a pocket of coffee, and I just sat there and like watched TV, and was like, and plus I was like so excited I couldn't sleep anyway. So this was yesterday. Um, I and also on Monday I did call my mom, and she's in Chicago, and I was so in shock that I got in. I just kind of was like, and then just like shaking, and just like I started crying because I this has been my dream literally since I was 7 years old. I mean, I didn't know exactly which university I wanted to go to, but I've known that long that I was gonna go over to England, and I was probably gonna try and live there. But I was like, I don't know, you know. But I'm not out of the woods yet because I have to get my visa, I have to get my student loans on, which I tried to do today, but like I need my parents here to do my tax stuff. So then I called my mom and I left. I was gonna leave a message, but I was so excited I hung up. So then I called back and was going to leave. I was in the middle of leaving a voicemail when she called me and was like, "Is everything okay? I'm in a meeting. You've called me multiple times. Well, I called her twice." And I was like, "I did it. I got accepted." And she was like, "Oh my god, you did it." And I was like, "Yes, I did. I need to talk to you though, but you need to go back to work. So just call me, whatever." So then I called my dad, and then my dad was working, but I just said, "I know that you're working. I know you're busy. I'm just gonna be quick." But I got accepted into a university, and he was like, "Where?" And I'm like, "Manchester." And he was like, "Well, I don't want to get your hopes up, but you're probably not going. We already paid for your fall semester here at community college, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, yeah, okay, I know that that's right, but I mean, be happy for me. So then I called my sister freaking the hell out, and texted my older sister. She hasn't responded, but I'm assuming she knows. I mean, I talked about it on Facebook too, so, and Tumblr, which she follows me on, so she knows. She and I don't really talk, so we actually kind of got into a fight over it on at Christmas because she's like, "You're just gonna leave and go to England and like leave the family," and I'm like, well, I don't want to just leave the family, but I want to move there. Whatever. Anyway, so then yesterday I officially added the choice, and then I called them up and I said, I'm a pro at calling internationally now. I can call Manchester, like, woo! But I, like, keep the phone calls quick because, you know, international phone calls are expensive. So I called them and I said, all right, so I got accepted. Now what do I do? And they said, well, we're going to add your choice in clearing. And I said, okay, so then do I have to go accept it? And they're like, no, because you added us. that's saying you're accepting your offer. And I was like, all right, cool. So you're going to accept me, no problems. And they're like, yeah, we're going to accept you. But your high school transcripts, I know you said they're on their way, but we need proof of that. So do you have like your diploma? And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And they're like, okay, just send us a picture of your diploma. And I'm like, all right, cool. But then I'm like, I graduated high school 4 years ago. I have no idea where the hell my diploma is. I've moved twice, state-wise, housing, like my stuff. I've moved 3 times in 4 years. I moved to California like 3 weeks after graduation, and then 2 years later, I moved to Minnesota for a year. But most of my stuff stayed at my parents' house. Well, my parents moved to North Carolina last year, so I was like, shit. So I'm like, I will send it to you today. I will find it and I will send it to you. So I'm like tearing through my stuff in my room, and I'm like, I can't find it. And then I'm like, I call my mom, like, Mom, where the heck is my diploma? I need the picture of my diploma. And she's like, we'll try the safe. There should be a key, whatever. So I go check the safe. The key is with my dad at work, and I'm like, he's not home till like 7 tonight. That's midnight in UK time. Like, I need to do this now because I have 50 days. So I was just like, oh my god, nothing can go right because I applied to go in June, and like it's August, and I just now got accepted. I'm like, I don't have time for 2 month delays. I leave next month if I go. So it was in the garage, and then I saw something that my dad said with my birth name, and it was like books, and I'm like, bam, I'm gonna check there. First box I open, it's right on top, and I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I don't even believe in you, but thank you, Jesus. So I ran into the house, took a picture of it, sent it to them, and they're like, great, cool, we're accepting you. It'll be showing up on UCAS. And I'm like, great. And they're like, we'll send you an email for next steps. So I went on, I checked this morning. Actually, slept for 14 hours because by the time I went to bed, I was just so freaking exhausted that I slept for 14 hours. So then, dogs, I hate you sometimes. So then I got up this morning, it was on UCAS. So I called them and I said, I'm still waiting on my email. What do I do about getting a visa? Do I have enough time, or should I defer it for a year? And they said, no, you have enough time. You have up to 6 months of being here, like physically in the UK before you need your visa. You have time. And I'm like, all right, cool. So like, well, we're sending it to you today. It will be there. You're going to have to pay a fee or whatever. I have to pay £100 for my housing. Like, I have to do so much stuff, but they're like, it'll be here on time. But the thing is like, I was talking to my mom about housing, and she was like, what are you going to do about being trans? And I'm like, well, Manchester is very LGBT friendly, and if I live in a suite, then I share my bathroom with like 10 people. If I go into a regular hall, then I'm sharing my bathroom with like 19 people, but the showers are still cut off, so it's not like I'm taking a group shower with people. And she was like, well, do you feel comfortable with that? And I said, I feel more comfortable in a suite where it's less people. Like, when I went to university last time, I lived in the on-campus pride community, so it was all gender flooring, and I lived with like 3 trans people, and it was awesome because it was like, no big deal, we don't care, whatever, here's a curtain, we're gonna put it up in the shower area so nobody has to see your stuff. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's probably what I'm gonna do. But I was like, I really wish that there was a no gender option or all gender flooring housing, but I don't know where they're gonna put me. They'll probably put me in with girls, which is gonna be uncomfortable, but I'm there to study. I'm not there to be, whatever. So if I have to live with girls, I have to live with girls. I don't know. And then my mom's like, you need to call your doctor because you are on shots and you have to bring those with you, or you need to stop. And I don't want you to stop because your body doesn't make hormones anymore. So I would rather you continue. And I was like, well, yeah, I gotta figure out how to do that. So I have to call my doctor and say, listen, I got accepted into this university. I want to take it. So I have so much stuff to do. Oh my gosh, it's a lot of stuff. But, and then my dad and I talked about it yesterday a little bit, and he was like, well, what did you find out today? And I said, well, they're officially ending my offer, but they do think that I can get a visa in time. I have, the 6 months extra timing that I need, so I can go there technically without my visa. I just have to have it by 6 months. So I said, And he was like, well, I don't want to, And then he did ask me. My dad and I have a don't ask, don't tell on my transition. And he was like, well, what are you going to do about your situation? And I said, well, I'm still figuring that one out. And he's like, okay. And that was it. And then I kind of went to bed. I was like, I'm going to bed. And it was like 8:30 at night. I was like, I'm going to bed. But then I ended up watching a movie. And I fell asleep at like 11, which then passed out for 14 hours. So, yeah, I passed out for like 13 hours. 13 hours I passed out. So it was interesting, but I don't know what I'm doing because I got in. But I gotta go through paperwork, and originally my mom was like, we were gonna wait until you change your name. And I'm like, I know, but I didn't think I was gonna get in. I just wanted to see if I could get in. But now that I did get in, I really want to go. I don't want to wait a year. So 3 years from now, if I leave in September, I'll have my bachelor's degree, and then I'm gonna apply to go to grad school. So, and then my mom's like, well, do you want to do grad school here or in England? And I'm like, England? I want to live in England permanently. um, we'll see what happens. But I got accepted into my dream university, you guys, and I'm beyond thrilled. Oh, and then today, someone called the house asking for my dad. My dad's at work. My mom's in Chicago until tomorrow. So I was like, hello, like talking normally, and then they're like, Mr. Croissant, and I'm like, no, that's my dad. He's not here right now. And then they were like, oh, okay, we'll call back later. And I'm like, yes! This is the first time someone's called my house and thought I was my dad. Thank you, testosterone. So, I don't know. I'll probably update again on Monday. We'll talk to you guys later.